Because you gotta remember, America's reach goes far, bro. And a lot of times they not looking at us like we gods on this earth. A lot of times they looking at us because our athleticism. When we go, especially Europe, especially in these places like that has a big American influence, they know like the NBA is predominantly black people, and those are the ones that's the most talented. So they looking at us in that aspect. They not looking at us as being the rulers of the earth, bro. You know, America's reach goes far, bro. They got embassies down there in every country in this world. And that westernized doctrine that they push, it goes deep, bro.
War on the Sabbath, we showing up. All praise to the Father, He hold us up. We holy, that mean that we separate. Heathen be raising, that mean that they desperate. They know the prophecy, time of the sin lead to slavery, princes the peasants. Death is delayed, so we live for the present. Judgment for prophets that fear to express it. I gotta speak if they hear, reject it. Scattered, but somehow I feel we connected.
Because the churches, they spend millions of dollars in these churches in our neighborhoods, and they're not teaching us the truth. These pastors is millionaires, but all around the churches is poverty and death. Keep reading.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
No more remembrance. Now we good with saying African American, colored, black, Negro. We good with this stuff. Well, our real nationality is Israelites. So-called African Americans be from the tribe of Judah. My man, he's so-called Mexican, he's from the tribe of Issachar. All right, we, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the Bible. And we don't know that. We don't know that we the same people when our lives show we live the same struggle. There's a little bit more to that. Now, it said the enemies.
It makes so much sense that you said that. Because we do live the same struggle.
We live the exact same struggle, bro. And I want to go back to what you said too. You said the Mexican, the Latinos, they come over here and speak in Spanish, have multiple languages, right? Even that language, Spanish, that was a language from the Spaniards who conquered the so-called Latinos. So that ain't even really their language. Yeah, bro. All this stuff that's why it's called Spanish, because it's come from the Spaniards. But watch this. Remember, it said God had enemies, right? And these enemies are the ones that gathered together and that created systemic racism, that created drugs in our neighborhoods, the Planned Parenthoods, all this crafty counsel. Watch this, read.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent, that they are confederate against thee.
All these people he about to name are confederate against us to hide our identity and who we truly are. Read.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The very first person he named was the Edomites, or the so-called white man. Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs. They the second person. Think about, if you think about superpowers on this world, you got the white man, and then you got the Arabs. Them the top two people in power in this whole world. Read.
Of Moab.
Moab, those are Chinese.
And the Hagarenes.
The Africans.
Gabal and Ammon.
And Ammon is the Japanese. So if you think all these other nations are confederate against us, when we say that we Africans or we come from Africa, there's a difference between the real Africans and us. And they'll tell you that. A lot of real Africans, they don't like us. And our culture is totally different.
Yeah, I cut a few Africans that come up here, and I talk to them about, over there how it looks and stuff like that, and they're like, man, it looks like over here. You know what I'm saying? They fool you with those images and stuff that they put on TV. Like, it's beautiful over here. You know what I'm saying? The culture is beautiful. They got the city environment just like here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like amazed from some of the stuff that different people tell me from cities that's from over there.
Yep.
And it's like, they do brainwash you with a lot of stuff about our culture and how we live and stuff like that. So,
You're absolutely right.
I believe that we are hated across the globe like that.
Absolutely.
Like say in other countries.
Absolutely. Because if you think about it, bro, we still put it like this. You can find us in every country you go to, right?
Yeah.
But as a majority, as a whole, as a nation, are we living in the best conditions in every country we go to?
No.
No, we live in poverty. We live in the hoods, just like we are here.
So, but do you think in other countries, because sometimes in other countries it's really just their customs, Do you think that the black folks is living worse than say everybody else and say them other countries all the time?
You have a few of us that actually get a little success, you know, and make it to a different level. But at the end of the day, they still get reminded of who they are wherever they go. You think about Oprah. When she travel overseas, she gets still reminded she a nigga. LeBron James, one of the most influential black men in the world. They still spray paint nigga on his garage.
So it's like it doesn't, no matter how much money you have, no matter how famous you are, no matter how many people admire you, you know, being black in America it's tough.
They still get reminded of who he is.
See, that's what I wanted to see. So a lot of times, what I noticed from overseas stuff when I've been overseas is a lot of times we look like we ain't liked here in America. But as soon as you get outside of here, they actually treat us more like kings. Perfect example. A lot of them places, once you leave America, American propaganda is you's a nigga, you hate it.
Right.
You leave here, they treat you as you's a God, you're in that Bible, you know what I'm saying? They believe that stuff. Where I believe America is teaching us to hate ourselves, hate each other. You see what I'm saying? When you go to them other countries, it really ain't like that. They treat us on a higher scale. They look at us like lights in their eyes, you know what I'm saying? Because for one, now I ain't talking countries that really got a big population of us.
Right.
I'm talking countries that really don't have a large population of us. They look at us and they like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? And they really don't think of us the way America do. You know what I'm saying? That's just from experience now. Now, I know that ain't everywhere. I know that ain't everywhere.
What's one of the countries you've been to you seen that?
I've been to Australia and Europe. You know what I'm saying? Over in Europe and England. Europe is the same type of way. Germany's not against black folks, but they got Nazis. So when you think of the Nazis hate everybody except for white. It's Aryan nation type of stuff. But that's not all of Germany. Most of Germany actually mess with us. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I will say this, because we actually got schools over in Europe and in Germany, and it's just the same. You know, we hate it everywhere, bro. And a lot of too, what goes into that, like sometimes those places, they will look at us like that, especially if you taller, because you gotta remember, America's reach goes far, bro. And a lot of times they not looking at us like we gods on this earth. A lot of times they looking at us because our athleticism. When we go, especially Europe, especially in these places like that has a big American influence, they know like the NBA is predominantly black people, and those are the ones that the most talented. So they looking at us in that aspect. They not looking at us as being the rulers of the earth.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today.
You know, America's reach goes far, bro. They got embassies damn near every country in this world, and that westernized doctrine that they push, it goes deep, bro. So like Europe, especially Europe and America, they basically the same place. There's a lot of systemic racism over there as well.
Yeah. I give you that 7 spot for sure. England, for sure.
But our biggest thing, bro, like I said, we pushing our nationality, because nothing else starts with that. If you don't know who you are, you don't know what's promised to you, you don't know where you're going, and you don't know how great you truly are. All right, for instance, y'all celebrate Christmas?
Yeah.
Nowhere in the Bible did God tell us to do that. But why then was it that we started learning that? Why did our grandparents, our great-grandparents start learning that as a tradition, as a culture? Because we say it's about God. First it went about God, then it went about family, right? If it's about nowhere, where can you read in the Bible where God celebrated his birthday, where Christ celebrated his birthday?
You would say to celebrate your birthday in the Bible?
It sure don't. We can go so far to show you that every time a birthday was celebrated in the Bible, our people was put to death.
I guess what I'm asking is why do we celebrate our birthday too then?
Because that's all a part of that idolatrous practices that America's pushing.
I got you.
Nowhere in the Bible are we supposed to celebrate our birthday. We're not supposed to celebrate Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. None of that stuff has anything to do with God. None of it.
That's was pushed on us.
Yes, it's all propaganda and it's all separating us from God. Because that's the thing. We have, as a black people, we have an affinity towards God, right? So anything that you want to push, all you got to do is add God to it. And black people, they'll follow it, no problem. Because originally Easter was about an Easter bunny laying eggs, right? Bunnies don't lay eggs, first and foremost. Then they say it's the resurrection of Christ. So how can it be about two totally different things? That's what this nation does. Read what you got. I see where you're at.
Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
So that's what we started doing. Once, like I said, bro, I'm telling you, this rabbit hole all starts with them stripping us from our identity. Because then they take away all sense of value, and then we get something called vacant self-esteem, to where our self-esteem is only based on what the society thinks about us.
What Bible do y'all read from?
We read from the King James.
Do y'all believe that that's written by them?
Well, every book in this world is written by man.
And hold on, let me dive in, not to cut you off. Don't think that I'm disagreeing with y'all at all.
No, bro, I like the conversation, bro.
You know, I'm one of them conversations. I want to get deeper into it.
Yeah.
I do the same thing, so I'm just, I'm looking at y'all thoughts and all.
I understand, bro. Like I said, I can tell you come from a genuine place, bro. The Bible was written by men under the inspiration of God. All right, because and how we know that everything that's said in this Bible is either come to pass or is going to come to pass. So that's how we know this is not some fairy tale book that some men just decided to write off the whim. No, everything we can read about in this Bible is coming to pass or it has already come to pass.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.